Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. This video goes over the modifications I've made and how it is I live in Blaze. She's my 2012 Nissan Xterra, and considering that cumulatively I spend at least 3 months in her a year, I think I'm part of the hashtag vanlife crowd now. I've had a request for how it is I go about living in Blaze here, and so we'll do a quick rundown of what the modifications I've done to her is. Basically, she's got a 2-inch lift. She got the a 2-inch shackle spacer here, which is really more like a 1 or maybe a 1 1/4, because I think I went 2 1/2 in the front. And so if you go a 1 1/2 at the strut, then it translates to like 2 1/2 out here at the tire, just geometry. So then in the rear I put in an add-a-leaf, but I didn't like the height, so I put in a little bit more of a lift with the shackle here. Added a basket up top, and I added the tow hitch in the back, and that's really about it. She ain't that big, and things can be a little tight in here. So what I got going on, I guess let's talk like my food and stuff. So I got these 3 little boxes. I've had them for years and years and years now, probably 20 years at this point, at least 15. They're good quality. I don't think you can find them anymore. But basically this one has my stove and propane in it. This one has like the cast iron skillet, pan, aluminum foil, spices, spatula, tongs, kitchen junk like that. And then this one is food, where I keep my coffee and bars and food and bread in there too, because then it doesn't get squashed being up in this compartment, which is kind of like my random food. Typically this is where I got my trail mix here, cans of V8, the French press, of course always some kind of extra coffee cup, my little junk I add into drinks and things. And so that'll have chips at sometimes. I think there might be a bag of chips in here somewhere. And then I carry 14 gallons of water in these guys. These are 7 gallons a piece. I also use them for working out, and you can infinitely adjust the weight from 0 to 56 pounds per. That's 8 pounds per gallon times 7, 56 pounds. So you can have them weigh about nothing or all the way up to 56 pounds a piece. Now I haven't removed about anything. I think I removed the trash and the trash and the dirty clothes. I think that's about all I removed. So basically I got my door full of junk here. Baby wipes, you got to have those. Bug repellent, WD-40 comes in handy for a little bit of everything. Water. Carry binos, my old binos right here, so that while I'm driving I can just grab them and go. I got the freezer slash fridge here. We'll talk about that later. Coming around the other side, this is where I sleep, right here on this side, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But basically I've got my stash of shoes and boots here, with snake boots, rubber boots, hiking boots. I even think I got my jogging shoes. Flip-flops are in here for showering. We'll talk about that as well. And then I usually keep some random junk down in here. Bottle of water, this little fan that plugs into a USB that goes into my little Jackery, or the this other generic one. But that thing is money in the bank if it's a little bit warm in the car. You can have a little bit of airflow. It usually sits right here for me at night, because at night, we'll go ahead and do this. These bad boys, I usually stick up here because I'm charging phones, GoPros, running the fan, and sometimes I'll run the fridge off of this yellow one if it's in refrigerator mode. If it's in freezer mode, I can't really do it because it runs too much too often, and this only has about 450 usable watt hours in it. Watt hours? I don't know. Anyway, it only has about 450. The Jackery is about a 300. We'll get into that math when I talk about the battery that's in this bad boy. So when I go to sleep, or when I'm driving and hunting, this is kind of the configuration. I've got the vest and my bino harness is not in here because it has a pistol in it, so it's not in the car. So bino harness and vest sit back in here. I carry my guns, my 2 shotguns over here. I don't have them in because I don't like to keep them in overnight, but I've got my primary shotgun here and my backup shotgun in here. I got it in the hard case just to keep it out of the way. It's strapped up in there. And then my sleeping thing. So this is my travel configuration. At night, this is how I go to sleep. I'll show you here in a sec. All right, so the sleep configuration, I got these screen things that go over so I can drop my windows and get some ventilation in here. I do that whether it's 30 degrees out or whether it's 80 degrees out. I drop them at least some, because if it's cold out and you're in here breathing and sleeping, the inside of your windows are all condensated and whatnot, and it's kind of nasty. So regardless of the temperature, I usually do that, and I got one for each side. I don't have any for the front. I really would like to get some for the front. So my air mattress and my sweet pillow here, sweet pillowcase. When I bought this, I had the choice of white, black, or this. Well, black shows every little bit of dust and lint, and the white shows every little bit of dirt. So I went with something you can't tell if it's dirty or not. So when I'm driving every morning, all that junk just goes up in there. I flip this over the back, and boom, the vest goes here. At night, the vest sits in the front seat along with the bino harness and usually my leafy top. And then usually I'll have the little stove with the coffee making stuff sitting in the floor up front under the steering wheel. So back in here, last year I've had this. This year I added another, and this is moneymaker right here. These are the 3 drawer chests that you see at Walmart or Target or anything like that. So I bought 3 of them, took them apart so I could, and then made it into a layer of 4. And that makes getting to my stuff in here, because like this side, this is all my clothes. This side is the bottom is like wet weather gear and whatnot. The top is my extra hoodies. But then in here, I've got the hot hands, I've got extra mouth calls, I've got some camera mount junk, duct tape, an extra sling. Down in here, my shells, shotgun sights, thermocell refills, all the refills for thermocells. What's that? Another sling. I got too many slings. So I was carrying that in I had 2 totes right here that were big, 2 Rubbermaid totes, and the problem was getting into them was a real pain in the butt, because one on top of the other, to get into the bottom one, you've got to lift the other one up and blah blah blah, and then you start digging around and you could not find what you want. But now with the stuff divided up a little more between 4 shelves, works out really good. So then here I've kind of got my hygiene bag. This is my workout bag. It's got the bands and that 25-pound vest. It's a camera bag. Just got the extra camera junk in it. So then right here usually sits my laptop, down and out of the way. This is like civilian clothes. This is my workout clothes. In here I've got another bag that's just like this, probably from the same place, that I carried my vitamins in. And yeah, I used to have a string system that would go from handle to these little metal knobs that are back here, and made a spider web up here, and I would carry solar panels up here. That took away a little headroom, but I needed the solar panels to keep the batteries charged. I used to carry 3 of these batteries. I carried these 2, and I had a really big one, and I would carry them all, but I don't carry the big one now because of what I have under the hood, and we'll get to that later. But this is it. And also, this container set is shorter in length than those Rubbermaid totes were, and so instead of the totes sticking out to here, they only come into here. It just works out so much better. And then I can take one of these bags with dirty clothes and just shove it up here, and that's where all my dirty clothes go, up there. So I think what I'm missing right now is I need to just throw another couple of bungees in here, because that's where you can hang your wet socks or your damp clothes or anything like that. Just put those back in there, and I think we'll be set. But we got this bad boy. This goofy little thing is where I put trash. So let's talk about hygiene. My oral hygiene, same routine I do at home, no change there. This one isn't, but it's just like this. My pee bottle for the middle of the night, because I'm not getting out of the car in the middle of the night to go pee. It's going right there, and we'll handle that in the morning. These little clippy guys, very handy. They come with your clothes you get from Walmart, so make use of those. Oh, back on the hygiene topic. Every night I take, like I said, this is my hygiene bag. I got baby wipes and rubbing alcohol. I make 3 or 4, I put 3 or 4 baby wipes right here on the ground, or right here, before I undress and everything, right here. And then I put alcohol on them, and I can take one and go over my head and face and neck. I take the other 2, go through my feet, and the 4th one goes through the undercarriage area, and that keeps you very clean and tides you over pretty well between legit showers. Now, shower, this is my shower. Just a chunk of hose with a flower sprinkler thing on it, and you just hook it up here. I can turn it on here and turn it on there. 3.5 gallons of water, more than enough for a shower. I usually have about a gallon left over, so if it was a little bit bigger, I could probably get 2 showers out of it, but I get 1 as is. So is it tight in here? Yes it is. I would like an upgrade in vehicle size, although I do like the size of the vehicle because I can slip in places sometimes. It's got a tight turning radius because it is kind of a stumpy vehicle, so those things are nice. And so I guess if you want more room, you got to compromise something somewhere. I think the baby snowflake would have a little more room for me, and we may end up going that route at some point. So now let's talk about when I get turkeys and I'm just starting out and I've still got 2 months before I even get home. I have a box in here, and basically what I carry in here is I got a box that has borax Ziploc bags, my scale I use to weigh the birds, extra bike tire, extra bike inner tube. Over here I've got a vacuum sealer with bags. I've got a space heater, electric space heater, so when I'm at Bart's or campground in Florida I can use it. Additionally, I've got an extra pair of boots that I use for a little bit colder weather, and decoys. It's really about all I carry in here, although sometimes I can throw a ground blind in here, I can throw my tent in here. And when I'm traveling like from Colorado to Florida, my vest goes in here as well, because I don't want I don't want to transfer it every night if I'm sleeping at a park or a rest area or something. I don't want to transfer it. So when I get a turkey and I vacuum seal it with all that stuff I got, we've got this freezer, and it's currently on. It currently has the turkeys from South Dakota, Eastern Colorado, and Kansas in here right now. And that bad boy is powered by this lithium starter battery. It is 100 amp hours. 100 amp hours times the 12 volt system gives you 1200 watt hours. Now 1200 watt hours translates to about 24 hours of straight run time on this if it's running the whole time, because this only pulls no more than 50 watts at a given time. So when it's on fridge mode, it pulls 50 watts, keeps it 32 degrees. That's where I typically set it. So it'll go to 32 degrees and it goes up to about 39 and then kicks on again. But it's 39 up here in the top part, not 39. It's colder down here than up here because it's fairly tall. So it's currently running. It's at 18 degrees right now. It should kick on here shortly. Take a quick peek inside of it. So I got a blanket in there to just take up some extra space and help the cooler out. So this side doesn't, and on this model, this is a cheap generic model, this side when it's on freezer mode is more like a refrigerator. This side's the freezer side. When it's on fridge mode over here, then it's cool over here, and I wouldn't say it's cold over here. So, and it's plugged in here. I've got the extension cable that goes to the back, because the back 12 volt socket plug, cigarette lighter type deal, the one that it runs all the time, that's hot all the time, is in the back for some reason. So got it going up here. And then under here in the floorboard up here, I've got a bag that has the chargers for these two battery banks. I've got extension cord, I've got an inverter, I've got an extra cord for this, I've got a cord for this that plugs into a wall. So I've got all my extra electronic junk down there. And if I don't need these, like I'm just traveling, then I'll usually throw one under there as well. So that's the long-winded version of how I managed to live in this bad boy. Nissan Xterra is not the roomiest vehicle, but it's a very capable off-road vehicle. And yeah, that's what I like about it. A couple times I think if I had a lesser vehicle, I would have been in trouble. I would have been stuck somewhere, or I wouldn't even just been able to go in there knowing I don't have a good off-road vehicle. So then you're missing out on opportunities because you got a Nancy vehicle. All right, so that's it. That's Blaze. This is Blaze. I hope nobody's offended by the Nancy comment, but at the end of the day, I didn't choose your car for you. So hope you like this video. If you did, give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down there, and as always, thanks for watching.